Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday. And Tuesday is our day where we're going to talk about how to structure your coaching practice. So, for those of you who might be new to our Quantum Human Design Coach Forum, we have a weekly lesson on Mondays through Fridays, and each day we talk about a different topic related to your coaching practice. Yesterday, I posted a video that talked a little bit about coaching models and why you really have to have a model that you use when you are supporting your clients in growing into their potential and redefining the narrative perhaps that they're telling themselves about who they think they are. Today, we're going to be focusing on how to structure your coaching practice so that it is profitable and sustainable and is a portal, if you will, for you to begin to serve your clients at your highest level. Just a quick review: on Wednesdays, we're going to be talking about marketing and how human design influences the way in which you market and marketing strategies for your coaching practice. Thursdays, we're going to be talking about specific coaching topics and how to use human design as a tool to help your clients with things like money, mindset, relationships, health and wellness, other aspects that we regularly deal with in our coaching practices. And on Friday, we're going to talk about how do we keep you as the coach sustainable so that you're able to continue to serve at the level at which you want to be serving, and to be able to do it in a way that is sustainable and enduring and joyful and fun so that you love your work and you love your clients. All right, let's talk about a question that comes up a lot when we talk about coaching. And it's a question that comes up a lot because it really forces us, if you will, to have to ground our coaching practice. And at the same time, if our coaching practice is too grounded, we have to also, as part of that elevation, if you will, an expansion process in our coaching practice, we also have to have a higher intention. So when we talk about structuring your coaching practice, the first thing that I want to tell you is there is no one set way to do it. It really is up to you to structure your practice in a way that feeds you and sustains you. And each human design type is going to have more of a tendency to have different needs in the way in which you coach, you structure your practice. If you have a defined will center in your chart, you're definitely going to need more fixed cycles of rest. We all need cycles of rest, by the way. Don't think if you have an undefined will, which most of us do, that you're like, I don't really need rest. We all need rest. We all need cycles of respite and renewal. And that's an essential thing actually to put into the structure of your coaching practice. I always recommend, and we do this on our team, myself, our whole team does this. We put our days off in our holidays, our days off in the calendar at the beginning of the year. You want to know ahead of time where your rest spots are. And by the way, that's not rigid. If you find throughout the course of the year that maybe you need more rest or you're getting burned out or crispy, you can always change your schedule and add more rest into it. But definitely prioritize yourself and your own value enough to establish your off time, your rest and renewal time on the front end. So every type has a different need for rest. If you have a defined will, you need rest. If you have an open sacral, that's our manifestors, our projectors, our reflectors, or the initiators, the calibrators, and the orchestrators. If you have an open sacral in your chart, you really want to be mindful of how do you sustain your energy, especially if you're working on your own, because you don't always have the access to that workforce consistent chug, chug, chug sacral energy when that's open. And so you really have to be mindful that if you're in an environment where you're not gaining a lot of access to sacral energy because you are maybe working from home or working on your own, that actually can be more exhausting sometimes than working in a place where you have access to more sacral energy. You can borrow it. You can't hold it, but you can borrow it. So you may also need to be very mindful of how do you use your time and how do you schedule your time in your practice. Part of what you want to look at is, especially with the open sacral, is how do you want to deliver your services? Where do you get the most juice and the most fire? And this is true for everyone, including the generator types. Where do you get the most juice and fire? there are a lot of different ways to coach. Some of us are really, really excited and good at one-on-one coaching. Some of us do better in group coaching settings. Some of us do better teaching or even doing certification trainings. Some of us do better creating courses, disseminating them via video, and having open Q&As. That's a really nice way to do coaching work if you're a generator type, because that responsiveness of the Q&A sessions really feeds the needs of the sacral and keeps your energy high and excited. So you get to decide in your practice, how much time off do you need? How much rest and renewal do you need? And how do you want to structure your practice? What's the way in which you deal with your clients that brings you the most amount of juice and fire? And there are no hard and fast rules. And that's the piece that, when we talk about coaching, that's the piece I want to really emphasize for you here as we start on our Tuesdays and talk about structuring our practice. At the very, very front end of structuring your practice, you're the one that gets to decide how you want to set it up. And that's essential for you to understand, because it really means before you structure anything in your practice, you really need to drop down and feel into what works for you. And for some of you, it might be an experimental practice. You might go too far with too many clients on the front end and then have to dial it back. Or maybe you go too far with having too many one-on-one clients and you realize that maybe you need to add more group work because it allows you to maximize your time a little bit differently. But in the end, there's no right or wrong way. There's no set hard formula for how you structure your practice other than what's bringing you the most amount of juice, what's bringing you the most amount of delight. And certainly what is going to bring you the most amount of juice and delight is going to be coaching in a way that allows you to fulfill. And this is really the essential piece on the front end, even before you do the rest piece, the respite piece. What on the front end is, what is your intention? What is your highest purpose around your coaching practice? Before you do any of the grounded work, like structuring how much you work, how much time you're off, how much you charge, how many sessions you do, all that stuff that is very grounded and earthy and practical. Before you do that, you have to be clear about what's your purpose and your intent. Because if you're clear about your purpose and intent, your mission, if you will, for your coaching practice, then everything else will fall into place to support you in fulfilling that purpose. So we have in the quantum alignment system and for quantum human design, we actually have a business mission statement. I write business mission statements for all of my businesses. My publishing company has a business mission statement. Quantum alignment system has a business mission statement. All of our companies have this mission statement, and it is a higher order intention that we set before we do anything, before we schedule anything. And we regularly check in with that mission to make sure, that mission statement, to make sure that we're really on track for fulfilling that purpose. So always, 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 before you do any of the grounded work of structuring your practice, start with your business mission statement. What is the purpose of your business? What are you seeking to fulfill? Who do you want to impact? What are the results of the impact that you're creating? Why are you doing what you're doing? Because when you can clearly craft a statement or a narrative around your higher purpose of your coaching practice, the practical steps about how to structure it, who is your client, how many clients to see, how much money to create, etc. All of that stuff kicks in when you're clear around your intention, when you're clear around the purpose and the mission of your coaching practice. That's essential. So one of the things that I'm going to do for you today is I'm going to post below a couple of samples of my business mission statements. I certainly will say, don't copy mine, make your own. This is about you getting clear about your own intention, your own purpose, your own mission, and really making sure that when you read it, when you feel into it, that it turns you on and it excites you, that it gives you something bigger than yourself, maybe, that calls you forward, even when you're struggling with some of the grunt work sometimes of running your coaching practice, trying to figure out maybe what kind of client do I want, or how do I want to market my client, etc. So you really want to have that highest intention set in place. So that's part of what I want to give you this week, is to really look at how you craft a good, solid business mission statement. And of course, it might not be that different from your personal mission statement. I find that, with the coaches that I work with, most of the coaches who I work with, there's a very deep and intimate parallel line between your business purpose and your life purpose or your personal mission statement. So, it certainly is also a really powerful way for you to connect deeply with your own purpose and your own mission. I'm going to also post for you guys a template, if you will, to support you in filling out your own personal mission statement. This is a template that is derived from your chart. I'll post the template today. On Friday, when we talk about building you as a coach staying sustainable in your practice, we'll actually go through the parts of the personal mission statement template and we'll fill it out together. So you'll have a really nice fun exercise to explore over the weekend, to really think about your own personal mission statement and how perhaps that personal mission statement feeds your professional mission statement. So, summary for today. Before you structure your coaching practice in any way, shape, or form, number one, make sure on the very front end that you are clear about why you're doing what you're doing. What's the purpose and the mission of your practice? That purpose and that mission will be fed and supported when you are clear and you are on track to fulfilling that purpose and that mission. The answers about how do I structure my coaching practice? How do I take care of myself? How do I sustain myself? How do I find clients? How do I find my ideal client? All of those things are easier to take care of. They are easier to fulfill when you have a good, clear intention and mission statement set up on the front end. I will post some examples of mission statements below. I'm also going to post for you below a template for a personal mission statement that we're going to explore going through on Friday, but I want you to have a chance to at least eyeball it before we get to Friday so that you have a sense of maybe what tools and things you want to bring with you. And on Friday, we'll fill that out together, or we'll at least start filling it out together. It's kind of an extensive process, but it'll give you something to do over the weekend. That's step one in structuring your coaching practice. Next week, we're going to ground that a little bit more. We're going to talk about how do you actually look at the structure of your practice in the context of your income goals and start to build a practice that has the potential to fulfill and hopefully exceed your income goals. And how do you do it correctly, if you will, according to your quantum human design? That's it. You guys have a great day. Take good care of yourselves. Tomorrow we'll be talking about, what will we talk about tomorrow? Tomorrow we're going to be talking about marketing, how to market yourself. And actually that mission statement is going to help you with your marketing as well. So work on that today. Tomorrow we'll talk about marketing by design. All right. Have a great day. Bye.